All right, welcome back. This is Jamie Oikle from runningrestaurants.com, where we bring you the tips, tools, and techniques you need to make your restaurant more profitable and successful. I've got a great one question episode for you today with Trevor Bernacchi of BevSpot. Here we go. Trevor, let's talk about finding new members for your bar team. What have you seen as successful ways to find and recruit a staff for the bar? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It can definitely be a really daunting task when you're trying to find qualified talent to fill your bar team. And it generally feels, at least what I've seen, is like a shortage of skilled people out there, right? Available to hire, but they're definitely out there and they're waiting to be found by you. So how can you actually find these people, right? Well, for those of you who are working 60 plus hour weeks running these bars and restaurants, which I can only assume is most of you, you got to get out on the town, right? Unfortunately, for those exhaustion levels, most events that are geared towards hospitality, like cocktail competitions, brand-sponsored events, things like that, they're going to be your prime events where you might be able to find a lot of these candidates. Also, we know there's always a few places that are those notorious industry hangouts near where you work. And if you don't want to go to big events, just get your after-shift drink at one of those nearest bars and just get to chatting. You know, you're bound to overhear somebody needing a job or talking about how they want something more. It's a really common occurrence in this industry. And then from there, the rest of it is up to you. And then really kind of continuing with that train of thought about going to those events, if you just run a Google search for brands on the market in your location, you might even find an event happening really, really close by. And hospitality, as we both know, it's been notoriously low tech for far too long. So you can't really be as reliant on those more tech-heavy, like classic recruiter searches for bartenders. And it doesn't mean, though, you shouldn't be learning how to use that tech to your advantage, because some of you are going to hate what I'm about to say, but Facebook is going to be one of your new best friends in searching for your bartenders, because this industry is so incredibly tight-knit. All you really got to do is check your friends to see who's commenting, and you're almost guaranteed to find somebody, a bartender, server, whatever you're looking for their next opportunity. And really, you got to get out there and market those job postings well and creatively. So whether you're just using a plain old "we're hiring" sign in your window, or you're putting up posts on Craigslist, LinkedIn, Indeed.com, more and more people are responding to those really creative and easily accessible kind of adverts and things like that. So you could even purchase space. If you're really hard up, you could purchase space on Facebook and just pay for certain keywords to show up, attached to your business that make you kind of pop out a little bit more in that search engine. And your bartenders might not be using tech that often, but I guarantee you they're using Facebook, they're using Instagram, especially if they're proud of what they're doing. They're going to be snapping all kinds of photos of those cocktails that they're creating. But if something's not working, just got to change your outreach a little bit. So was Einstein or someone who said, like, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing again and again and again and just expecting a different result. If you keep doing that, you're just going to keep either hiring people that you're going to cycle out over and over again, and your turnover is going to be the sky high, or you're just going to be, not finding anybody whatsoever, which is probably even worse.
Yeah, what I like about what you covered there is 3, 4, 5 different concepts there, not just relying on one thing. So you talked about events, going to hangouts, using technology in terms of apps and so forth. And you know what? Yeah, there's a restaurant opening in my town, and they're using Facebook pretty well. Hey, we're opening, we're excited. Here's pictures of the place. We're doing a job festival and so forth. And so I thought that was pretty good. I'm sure they got good turnout that day. And so I do think using social media now can be definitely a good way to do it, because if you're looking for a gig, you can poke around yourself, but obviously your friends start to know you're looking for a job, and they can say, hey, I saw that place is looking for a thing on Facebook. So yeah, definitely use social media to your advantage. And also the idea of always be recruiting. Don't just wait till you have the opening. What the things that you touched on they're a combination of being proactive and reactive. What do you think more on the proactive side? Any other tips, whether it's referrals, having people in the queue ready to go? What do you think?
Absolutely. I think referrals is huge. Honestly, like, some of my favorite restaurants I ever worked at over the years, bar teams I worked for, was because it was someone who was running that bar team or a server that was working there that I'd worked somewhere else in the past with, and they kind of passed my name along to the GM or the hiring manager. That really is one of the best ways to, and we can kind of go back to culture on this one too, is that if you know that person is one of your rock star, like, servers, bartenders, one of the anchors of your staff, and they're vouching for someone else to bring onto that team, stands to reason it's at least worth a conversation to kind of get out in front of that and see if you can't kind of take on more of those resources as far as, like, the P&L goes at the restaurant. it's sometimes worth it. Get that person waiting in line. Maybe you can only offer them 3 shifts a week at the beginning, but if they're the right person and they're willing to stick it out, they'll be there until they can get that full-time spot.
Right. Good. Yeah. We talked about a lot of good tips here for finding staff. And listen, there's no question that there's a shortage of hospitality folks out there. Labor market is tight. So you do have to do these things and be creative. Trevor, you guys are in the bar and restaurant management space. Talk about BevSpot. Where can they find you? What can they look for?
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone just heads right to bevspot.com, just BEVSPOT.com, they're going to find hundreds of blog posts we have there helping out the industry, free resources, free tools. You can even schedule a 15-minute chat with one of our team members just to kind of get a deeper dive into what the software could do for you. Inventory management, ordering assistance, POS balancing, things like that. Really shining a light on the areas of your bar program that you maybe not aren't familiar with looking at before.
Sure. Awesome. Appreciate that. Folks, that was Trevor Bernacchi of BevSpot. You can find more about them on the web at www.bevspot.com. And for more great resources for restaurant owners and managers, head over to runningrestaurants.com. You can find tips on marketing, service, people, tech, and more. We'll see you next time. Thanks.